Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my bathroom. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my sort of interpretation of the viral latte makeup trend. I've seen this everywhere. I've seen it on TikTok, I've seen it on YouTube, I've seen it all over my socials, and I really wanted to try it for myself because I just love like a bronzy eye, bronzy skin kind of vibe. And I think this makeup came out really, really good. I'm really happy with it. I don't know if it's exactly what the trend was, to be honest with you. I've kind of put my own spin on it. I mean, the dark eyes and everything are very along that vibe, but I have gone for more of a cool toned lip, which isn't really like me, but I thought we'd do something different. But the skin is really bronzy. We've got some faux freckles on there. I really wanted to bring you guys like a makeup look because I've not done one in forever and I've seen so many photos of this, I couldn't not jump on it. Quick side note, I am currently on Accutane, so that is why my lips and my skin are very, very dry. So all of the products in this video are going to be very skin friendly because that is my main focus. Anything that's going to cause any blemishes or clog my pores or anything like that, I stay very, very far away from. So if you have acne prone skin, if you suffer from imperfections, anything like that, and even if you're just someone with very dry skin, I've got some great products at the moment to ensure that my moisture levels are all okay. So we're gonna do full skincare, we're gonna do this entire makeup look, and I'm so excited to show you guys. I will try and link as many of these products in the description down below. If I do forget any, just drop a comment and I will try my best to add them in. I do also have a Look Fantastic code, which is LFSA Gesso. I think I will put it here and in the description so that if you do want to shop any of these products or anything else, you can get yourself some money off. I think it's 20% or like 25%. So save that coin, sis, use my code, and without further ado, let's crack on into this video. Right, we're gonna have to deal with this. I am currently on Accutane at the moment, so skin prep, lip prep, everything like that is probably the most important thing in my makeup routine at the moment because I have incredibly dry skin that is literally feels like it's crumbling at the moment, I'm not gonna lie. So one product that I found that has been absolutely incredible throughout the whole time that I've been on Accutane is this Aveeno moisturizer. This is actually the Calm and Restore Oat Gel Moisturizer. So as someone with very oily skin normally, but whose skin has gone very dry now, this is incredible. Like, gel moisturizers have always worked better for me. I've always found them to be more sort of nourishing, moisturizing without being like comedogenic. So they don't clog your pores. It's very moisturizing. It's probably the most moisturizing thing I've found overall. So that I've already put on, and then I'm just gonna go in with a bit of this La Roche SPF. It's the product that's gonna prevent you from aging the most. I mean, we want to avoid any sort of nasty skin cancer as much as possible. This is just SPF 30 and it's the Anthelios SPF. This I've seen, and actually from my experience as well, is one of the best under makeup because it doesn't leave like a white cast. These two products at the moment are absolutely non-negotiables in my everyday skincare routine. Even if I feel like I'm not going outside that much, I will still put SPF on. It's better to be covered, it's better to be safe than sorry. This one's just an SPF 30 as well. If I was going out all day, I do have a Bondi Sands SPF 50 as well. So that's really good too, but this is definitely my favorite. I've also got a Nivea SPF lip balm too. That's how much I'm struggling at the moment with the dryness. As you would have seen at the start, because I am filming that after, I'm doing super bronzy faux freckles. I'm so excited to see what it looks like. I'm actually gonna do my brows off camera because I feel like I've done them on my channel a fair few times before. All I use is the Pink Honey Brow Glue and a spoolie. What I'll do is I will link a video up here, or up here, I can't remember what side it is. But I'll link a video where I sort of explain how I do my brows. It's not very difficult. I just wet this soap a little bit, or brow glue, whatever you want to call it, run it through my brows. I tend to do it in a side-to-side motion, let it stick down for a minute before I then shape them, and then I just sort of like line them over the top just to make them look as sort of natural as possible. Right, the bin men are outside, which is really annoying. I'm so sorry about that if you can hear the truck behind. But this is where we are up to on brows. So one thing I actually find really helpful in sort of setting them down, sticking them against my skin and making sure that they don't move, once I've pulled all the brow hairs up and like stuck them up, is I go over with my finger and just like push up in that sort of motion, if that makes sense. It really does stick them down. I promise you they won't move. And then once I've done that, I sort of just line over the top like that. I mean, I'm not going to do it again because I have shaped them. It just stops them being too like bushy. As you can see, I do have a little bit of a sparse area here. We'll fill it in a little bit later on. Another very important part in making sure your makeup does stick all day is actually cleaning up around your brows. I usually just go in with a little cotton pad like this with a bit of water and wipe the excess product off. If you don't do this, your foundation won't stick, or it will like clump around your eyebrows where you've left the product on, and it's just not a cute look. I have texture still, and I probably will have texture for a long time, but just where I have scars and things like that. So if I can avoid additional texture caused by my brow glue, then I absolutely will. We're gonna move on to skin now, and I'm so excited to show you like my normal base routine at the moment because I feel like I've perfected it from my skin type. Foundation for me will always be this NARS one here. It is the light reflecting foundation. It's my favorite foundation that I've ever tried. I was a L'Oreal Infallible girl through and through until I tried this when I was in LA, and I have just not gone back. It's so good, and it really does last all day. I just go in with a couple of pumps and sort of divide it around my face. It doesn't look too great at the moment, but we're gonna work with it. And then straight up, just blend away. I know lots of people have been putting bronzing drops underneath their foundation for this trend, and you definitely could do, but I haven't fake tanned for this video because I'm trying to stay away from fake tan at the moment, just because it dries my skin out even more being on Accutane. So we're gonna stick to foundation, and maybe this will be like a bit more of a fair skin routine for this trend. I just love how this foundation sits on top of other products, and even though my skin is super dry at the moment, it still does the job. Like, it still doesn't crack, it doesn't look funny. I just can't complain about this foundation ever. I'm actually gonna go get a bigger mirror because I'm currently working out of this and the viewfinder, and it's a little bit complicated. I do spend a good amount of time like pushing the product and making sure that the foundation really is buffed into my skin. I feel like it lasts longer, it blends better, and ultimately it doesn't bring out my texture as much, which, as I was saying, is a very important part for me. I'm now looking at where I want to conceal, and whilst I have spots, I don't have a huge amount of redness. That being said, my Accutane is starting to work really well now, so I only really have that big spot, and then they're pretty much all gone. Pushing that in as well. This is the Rimmel Multitasker Concealer. I could not tell you for the life of me what color this is or what shade it is because it's so old. My favorite concealer, however, is still the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. Obviously, I used to use the foundation with this as well, but I now just use it for highlighting on my face. I don't want to highlight crazy amounts, to be honest with you, because the whole point of this is to be quite a bronzy, sun-kissed makeup look. So I'm just going to use it under my eyes in this case because I only really want to conceal my dark circles. And believe it or not, my dark circles actually aren't that bad at the moment because I'm sleeping. That is everything that we're gonna conceal. And now, arguably the most important part of this whole latte trend is the bronzing. Now, I'm gonna be using my Made by Mitchell blush. This one is just in the shade Shady Business. I do have another one in there. I think it's called like Caramel Chisel, but it is ever so slightly dark for me. So I'm just gonna go in with the Shady Business. This is a brand new one. I got it yesterday, but it is my favorite shade that I've tried so far. It's a gorgeous sort of warm toned shade, which just blends out amazingly. I feel like my camera's doing absolutely no justice to how bronzy this is in person. This is where we are up to now that it's all blended. I'm sort of thinking I might add a little bit more just to add some more dimension to bronze the whole thing up a little bit before we go in with some blush. I am actually going to go in a little bit with this dark shade too. I don't know if you can see the difference there. That was Shady Business again, and now we're going to go in with Caramel Chisel and blend them both out. Okay, that's so much better bronziness wise. I'm actually debating what blush to use. Again, it's going to be the Made by Mitchell blushes. These are my absolute favorite. I've got Peach Sugar, which is sort of like a peach peachy pink colour, and then I've got Toasted Terracotta, which is definitely more on the orange side. I really wanted to use the pinky toned one. As this is more of a bronzy makeup look, I guess it makes sense to use the more orange toned one. Probably my favourite blush shade anyway. The other one is just a brand new one that I received yesterday. I got a few yesterday actually. I got Cherry Cola, which I think might be Mitchell's favourite. There we go. Do you see what I mean? It just keeps everything looking very warm, very bronzy, because it is definitely more of an orange toned blush. I feel like in summer those just look so stunning, especially when it's sunny outside. Not that it is right now. And then I always put blush on my nose as well. I actually managed to pick these blushes up on TikTok Shop when they were £5 each. And then I had some sort of discount such that when I spent £20, I would get £2 off. So I literally got 4 blushes for £18, including delivery. Definitely keep an eye out for those on TikTok Shop. I always link them as soon as they come on as well. That is what we've ended up with in terms of blush and bronzer. It looks a bit orangey, but I think once we do the eyes, it's gonna pull everything together and it's gonna be so dreamy. I have recently found myself reaching back for the Laura Mercier powder. This used to be a hot favorite of mine years ago actually, like when I started YouTube, but I sort of never really used it anymore after that. I just went back to pressed powder. But then I picked this up again in LA when I went and sort of fell back in love with it, to be honest. So with my powder placement at the moment, I do tend to focus it sort of under my eyes because that's where I crease quite a lot. I also think it looks a lot better when it's mattified under my eye. I don't know if you can see the difference. And then I do a little bit around my nose, above my lip, on my chin, so essentially just my T-zone. This is where I usually finish my eyebrows as well, because as I mentioned, my face is set, so the products that I put on aren't gonna budge anywhere. I'm literally just gonna fill in that sparse area and then just do a couple of strokes in the front. What I do as well with this brush, because it's actually not that great, is I pinch it to make sure there's a really nice sharp edge. That way they look a little bit more like real eyebrows, or at least I tell myself that. Right, my camera died, but we are back. I'm now gonna be moving on to eyes, and I feel like eyes is where like the make or break of this look is. I'm actually gonna be using the Morphe Catch the Sun palette, because this has a nice amount of like bronzy shades. This is probably what I'm gonna use for the most part, and then this one in the outer corner, and then I might go in with a little bit of this one here, which I've actually never used before, but I think it would be perfect for this sort of look. Starting off with this color here, it's called Sandcastles, I believe. I'm just gonna essentially chuck this all over my lid, concentrating it in the crease for the most part as well, just to give my eye some definition. I'm gonna smoke it out like quite far as well, if that makes sense. Then I'm gonna go straight in with the darker shade, which is called Lounge Chair, I wanna say. I mean, it does say on the back, but the map's a little bit difficult to read. So this is the one that I usually just use for my outer corner, but I'm gonna try and work this all around my lid as well. Not to the extremity of the previous shade, because I do want to keep a little bit of a difference between them two, but just to deepen the whole eye up. I feel like this look is great on blue eyes as well, like it really does make them pop. I'm not saying it's not gorgeous on any other colour, because obviously it is, but it's one of my favourite on my eyes in particular. I think on green eyes this would look even better too. As you can tell, I brought this up quite high. It's not at my eyebrow, but it is higher than I would usually bring my eye makeup. And then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this brown shimmer, but I'm gonna tap quite a lot off because I do want a shimmer on my lid itself. That's where I'm gonna leave it eyeshadow wise. I'm pretty sure, like I do like that. Smokier than I usually go for. Then I'm gonna move on to mascara. Now I do the majority of my mascara with the Clinique. I think this is the high impact mascara. This is so good. And then I sort of separate my lashes afterwards with this Moroder Cosmetics one that I have too. I mean, I've just got it all over my lid, but don't worry too much because you can just clean that up after. That is the eyes done. Obviously they're quite nice and dark, so I'm not really a lashes girl anymore, I'm not gonna lie. If you wanted to chuck on some lashes, absolutely go for it, but I'm really happy with like the outcome of these. I'm just gonna move on to sort of faux freckles now, which I actually do with the same eyeshadow palette. I just used a lighter color and a little angled brush that I did just use for my eyebrows. Sort of dot them on in random places. I tend to focus them around like the top of my cheekbone, around here, and then around my nose, because I find that this is where I get them naturally. Like I don't get them the whole way around my face. If you're feeling bold, you can go in with a slightly darker color. So that's what I've ended up with. Obviously they look a bit much now, so I kind of just dot along with my finger. I have already powdered as well, as you'll have seen, so I find this doesn't pick up my foundation or anything. Last bit for my face before I finish off with my lips is going to be a little bit of highlight. This is the Luvia highlighter. I actually got sent this, I think, in a Look Fantastic parcel. She's really cute. She's like a goldeny color. I feel like it's gonna tie in really nicely with the eyes. I'm not really a highlighter girl, and like I've not worn highlighter in ages, but I think on this particular occasion it will look good. I don't want to over highlight though, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out so far. I love makeup that's sort of focused on skin. I think it looks the best. For lips, I would love to use MAC Sweet Tea, but she's dead and I don't have a pencil sharpener. I'm actually gonna go in with this eye pencil, which again is quite dead. I think this is Rihanna's actually. We've spoken about this before. I've not seen her since to be able to give it back. It's definitely a cooler tone, as you can see, but we are going to blend it in a minute. I did just finish off with a lip plumper, and it's this one here. It is the Skin Chemist Rose Quartz Youth Defense Lip Plump. I think I also got this from Look Fantastic in one of their monthly boxes. And I mean, who doesn't love a lip plumper? But there we have it. I feel like overall it's a bit of a blend between like cool tones on my lips and then the rest being like nice and warm toned. I do absolutely love how this turned out. I think it's so gorgeous. It's fairly similar to like the normal makeup that I would do, or like my regular glam, that sort of thing, but definitely like a little bit darker, a little bit smokier on the eyes. My lips do look a little bit of a mess, I'm not gonna lie, because they are so dry. Like there's nothing I can do about it being on Accutane at the moment. That is everything that I've got to show you for today's video. I feel like it's been fairly long by like my standards, especially for a makeup video. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!